crowd, politicians know people.
They do.
And you know people.
I do know people, yes.
You know.
But you know what? I was thinking about this. I know people because of you. In large part because of you. So that's why I wanted to have you on today, was because to tell you thanks. And if I cry, y'all, it's okay.
Okay,
so,
we ain't going. This is not
I'm not going to try not to cry.
Because you'll start crying. That's that Italian thing.
It is.
And I'm from Philly. I'll start crying in a minute too.
No, but I want to thank you because that day when I came up to you and said, "Hey, are you Mike King?"
It was 1,000 degrees that day.
It was, and he was trying so hard to leave.
Yes, I was.
So Mike comes in, he does his thing for 10 minutes to be able to say that he was there, and then he bounces, right? Where me, I'm there before it starts and after it starts, and I'm cleaning up.
Right, because we were talking about the time, what time you operate on.
Yes.
But we can't say that right now.
No, we can't.
But for people who know, who are in the inside.
We operate on different times.
Yes. Yes.
So we'll just leave
it Yours is on time.
Mine is
But one time is early.
Yes. Usually 15 to 20 minutes.
Yes.
And he makes me a little nervous when we go to places and he's not there and I'm there and he knows everybody and I don't know anybody. So, but we figure it out. Yes. So that day, I call it that fateful day, right? That I walked up to you and I said, "Hey, are you Mike King?" And you said, "Yes, I am." I said, "You know, a friend of mine, Jill." And do you remember what you said to me?
A friend of Jill's is a friend of mine.
Absolutely.
Right. Because cool people know cool people. That's the way it is.
Yeah. Good people know good people. So the next thing he said to me was, "Hey, why don't you come on the radio?" Right. And I was like, "Oh, that sounds really exciting."
Yeah, really exciting.
And very intimidating. So I think it probably took me a month and a half to finally get on your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I did, I come in, thank God I got dressed that day, because I was going to come in my yoga pants and a t-shirt, because that's how I roll.
But we've seen people who come in here like that because they aren't sure what's going to happen.
Right.
Because I don't want to tell people what's going to happen.
Right. No, because if you tell them at the element of surprise, and there's such a better conversation when they don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Right. So I come in here, I'm actually somewhat decently dressed. And I said, "Okay, so how's this going to go?" My assumption was I was going to come in, I was going to get to know him a little bit better. He was going to give me a list of questions that I was going to then go home and very thoughtfully review and write out and memorize and make sure that you don't say the wrong, stupid thing. Make sure you don't curse, which you can't do.
Did ask right from the get-go.
I did. Only because I know me. Right,
and I explained that this is radio. This is not a podcast. They're FCC licensed. And I may get called on the carpet if you start dropping bombs.
Yes, and I do drop those bombs. And so I didn't want to get him into trouble, which is why I asked.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Because it does happen a lot. So I asked, he's like, I don't know what we're going to talk about. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know what we're going to talk about? What does that mean? And you're like, I don't know. We'll just figure it out. And he's like, it's like a conversation between two friends. And I was like, but like, am I going to come back and do that? Or he's like, no, we're going to do it right now. And I'm like right now.
Right now.
And he's like, yeah. And that's the beginning of our friendship. And that has set the pace and the tone for our friendship going forward, which I absolutely adore.
Everybody does not get that.
No.
So when you meet or engage with people who get it, it's cool.
It is.
Because I say to you, "Hey, Anna, I got this thing at 3:30. There's going to be some cool people there." You are not asking me 100 questions. You're like, "Hold up. Yeah, I'll be there."
Yep. I'm just checking my schedule.
And you're there a little early.
Right.
Some people don't operate like that. They're like, "Hey, you need to give me a week's lead time and I'm going to see." Because you understand the power of being in the room.
Absolutely.
It's hard to make a deal when you're on the outside looking in the window.
Absolutely.
A few things happen and most of them aren't good. You're looking like a peeping Tom.
Right.
But because there's a party on the inside, deals are made because people understand. We always talk about everybody can say no to your dream.
Absolutely.
To your sales deal. And I use the example that look at the sales rep in the doctor's office. He's a guy sitting in the corner with the donuts.
Yep.
With the sad look on his face.
Yeah.
He had to give the receptionist donuts. He had to give the nursing assistant baseball tickets. He's doing all of these things to get to the person who can say yes.
Right.
We work on the assumption we're going to get to the person who say yes because they're setting the policy and then they're telling everyone this is what we're doing.
This is what we're doing.
So, yes.
Absolutely. It's The Room Where It Happened. If anybody hasn't seen Hamilton, that's the song. The Room Where It Happened. The Room Where It Happened.
I'm not